Hello, and I hope you are having a great Sunday. Hopefully, you can hear me. If someone could just confirm in the chat, I've actually managed to put myself on the stage first so that I can make sure that I can be heard. Hello, Michelle. Oh, God, yeah, keep the mic near my mouth. That'll help. I don't usually use the sun, but it had the best picture to show as a display for these sisters and a couple of pictures. So I'll go through a couple of those in a minute. But I just wanted to bring this over here because these sisters have been missing since Tuesday just gone. So obviously, because they have been missing, there's a desperate search for them. Now, they are being described as twin sisters, but they are part of triplets. They are aged 32, and they vanished whilst they were walking along the river in the early hours of the morning. Now, family have said that this would be unusual for them to do that. So they were last seen walking beside a river in the early hours of the morning. So we will go through the map and everything. But the sisters are Eliza and Henrietta Huszti, and they left their home in the early hours of the morning. They were seen on CCTV. We haven't been shown any more, so I will show you on the map and everything as well in a minute. But they were walking along Victoria Bridge, and then they turned right onto what looks like a riverbed pathway. Let me just show you. So this is the CCTV that the police shared. It's not the best image, obviously, but it's the image that the police have put out there for them. Now you can see they've both got their coats on. One of them has a bag wrapped up with a scarf on. And that would appear to be, the normal thing to do in the middle of the winter, especially up in Aberdeen when it is so cold. This is just the police in the river there doing their searches. I don't envy them. It must be absolutely freezing. And here's this map. We will do a Google Earth wander as well. But just so you can see on this map, you can see point 1. Then you can see Guild Street. So they walk from their property to and past Guild Street, and then they head on to Market Street, and Market Street goes across the bridge. And then when I show you the Google Earth, you'll see the pathway. Like, they didn't walk up further, they walked to literally the first right, and they were heading to the direction of the Aberdeen Boat Club. So it's very, very concerning. Hi, Charlene. I hope you are well. Yeah, it's not good, is it? Not good at all. I mean, I'll be honest, from the outset of this, I don't think the outcome is going to be one that will have a good ending, but they still need to be found. And hopefully there's always that bit of hope that, they could be found alive and well. Don't worry, Michelle, especially as we can't see the comments at the moment. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. So as you see, that's the route that they took, and then they take that footpath, and then they head to the Aberdeen Boat Club, as I said. Now, they are both described as being of a slim build, long brown hair, and I read somewhere, tall. Now, that's important because the tidal information that I was sent last night showed me at the time that when they went to that part near the river, it was low tide, but it did quickly change to high tide, but it said maximum of like 6 foot. However, obviously you've got to bear in mind when you go in there, if you was to enter the water, you're not, you can see they're not dressed for the the cold river, and that would hit in very quickly, the cold water shock of that. Now, since I think Wednesday, they've obviously had their dogs out looking for them. They've been doing land search, and they do have air support. And obviously, they're working diligently, and they are working in different areas around that location as well, because obviously they can't exclude land search as well. But obviously, because they're last seen near the river, obviously they're going to want to be searching in the river, because obviously the tides, and unfortunately, which I'll show you on the Google Earth in a minute, the tide obviously it'll go either way, right? But the actual River Dee near this location leads out to the North Sea, and it's very, very close by. Obviously they're doing extensive searches, door to door, that kind of thing. It's really sad, because there's been no indication. The brother of one of because there's two sets of triplets, and the brother had said that he'd had a 40-minute conversation with them, and he said that there was nothing that gave away any information that said that there was any distress or anything. Everything seemed normal. And then the sister of, I believe, in this set of triplets, said that on New Year's Day they spoke and they seemed happy. Now, I did say on my live last night, it's really difficult to gauge, obviously, people's mood and what's going on, just because obviously people can mask whatever they're going through very easily, if they are indeed going through anything whatsoever. Now, let me just swap my screen. I wanted to play this little video for you guys.
Sisters, including with police dogs, and with the point that sisters Eliza and Henrietta Huszti were last seen 3 days ago. The 32-year-old twins are walking down Market Street over Victoria Bridge at around 12 minutes past 2 on Tuesday morning. They then turned right onto this footpath next to the River Dee and haven't been seen since. They're described as being white, of slim build and with long brown hair. Police say they've been searching extensively for the sisters, including with police dogs and with marine units in the River Dee today. Now, there are a lot of commercial units in this area of Aberdeen, and detectives want local businesses to check their CCTV for any information that might help them trace their whereabouts. They say they're also speaking to people who know the pair to try and get a fuller idea of the picture surrounding their circumstances, and they want anyone with any information on their whereabouts to get in touch.
As you can see, it's very bloody icy out there. And I mean, did one slip? Did one fall? If they've gone into the river, did one slip and the other one try and help? Because that's always a potential, isn't it? That an accident could have happened, and then one goes in to help the other and gets into difficulty. I mean, that's all speculative, but it's based on, obviously, the police highly concentrating on the river. Now, obviously, since those have happened, hang on, let me just change my screen again. We'll go to Police Scotland. So as you can see, Police Scotland, this is Police Scotland, by the way, have extended their search of the River Dee in Aberdeen as inquiries continue to trace the missing sisters Eliza and Henrietta Huszti. As I've said, they were last seen on that CCTV at around 2:12 a.m. They crossed the bridge, they turned right onto that footpath, and we're going to do that in a minute. Specialist resources include the police helicopter, the dog branch, the marine unit, along with service partners, and they have been assisting in the search. Now, the police are going to remain at the scene for further searches. Now, someone asked me, like, how long can they be in the water? Now, based on obviously their oxygen ability, haven't got a clue. I'm not a diver, I'm not a specialist in that area. But I do know, obviously, each diver will use up their oxygen tanks differently, depending if they smoke or not. And how conservative they are with their air, which, I mean, most divers who do it for a living probably have that down to a fine art to conserve as much air as they can, so they're not panicking. But obviously, you've got to bear in mind this water is bloody freezing. And I'm not sure. Let me just have a little search. How long can divers be in minus temp rivers? Well, that didn't answer my question whatsoever. I'm not sure. The answer is not clear, so I'm not going to even attempt to answer that. But it's going to be cold, and obviously they're going to be in and out. So that kind of does slow things up a little bit if that's the case, depending on how long they can be in the water in minus temperatures. I mean, I know they've got the wetsuits and everything, but still. Now, the police are going to remain at the scene while these further searches, including the coast towards the port of Aberdeen, South Harbour towards Duthie Park, are carried out. So they're heading towards that coastline, which I'll show you in a minute. The officers are liaising with authorities in Hungary, which is where their family are, to support their relatives. Now, CCTV footage has also been, the area where they were last seen is being examined, and they are asking for more of that from businesses and people from the area and cars and that kind of thing. Now, I was told last night in my live that it's quite actually a busy area, even at like 2 a.m. So somebody somewhere could have some CCTV or dash cam footage even, that might be helpful. Now, they are saying the River Dee remains the main focus of their search, as there is no evidence of the women leaving the immediate area. So again, that's key, isn't it? We saw that with the Nicola Bulley case, that there was no evidence of her leaving the area where she was walking the dog. Now, they have family, and their family are obviously worried. And it must be hard because obviously they're in a different country, and her brother, who is somewhere else, I think that might be Bulgaria, he's obviously also worried because he's obviously elsewhere as well. But they are clearly focusing on that river. So it says to me that that's information that tells them that the river is the main footage. Not the main footage, but the main element of the search, which is, very key at this point. I would assume it would go on. Yeah, there's all sorts of things when you're factoring in for diving. Like when I did my little diving in Egypt many years ago, like this is when I was married to my first husband years ago. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I conserve my air well because I don't smoke. But diving ain't for me. There's too many things I've got to consider, and it's just not for me. So let's go to the Earth of Google of the Earth. There we go. So this is the map that I'll take you on. So you've got Guild Street here. Let's do a 3D. Let's spin it around. Spin it around. So it gives you an idea of the walk. Now, from this viewpoint here, the road actually doesn't look that long, but when you're walking it, it's apparently quite long. And when I was trying to scoot down it on the Google Maps last night, it took some time. It spun it around. As you can see, it's a really like busy area, isn't it? Right, I'm trying to use this mouse pad. So this is Guild Street, I believe. I'm at a different angle now. Let's put the walkie lines on. So they would have been walking from down this way. From down. Right, I don't want you to go zooming in. I want you to move. So from down here onto this road here. And then I think they took the shortcut or a cut to here, which is Market Street. Now, obviously it cuts across. Now, again, so many questions, right? Because as you can see, let me just zoom out a minute. They've walked down here, right? Now, along this way, there's plenty of options if you want wanting to enter the water to do it before you get to the location that you're going to. Plenty of different options. There's one entry here and there's an entry here. Now, where they ended up, so what I'm saying is, if it was like an intentional thing, why would you go all the way over that way to do it? Especially when it looks quite shallow around the edges, and I will show you that in a minute. But you've got this point here and you've got this point here, which would take you out here a lot quicker if that was your intentionals. This bit is the bit that comes to the bridge. So you can see the bridge is there, and then they went down here where my arrow is. So let's take a walk, guys. Now bear with me, right, because this is my walking. We're just going to go straight on Market Street. I'm not going to go down to Guild Street. So that's Guild Street down there. That way where you can see M&S in the background is the opposite way. So we just want to spin it around, please. Right, we want to see the direction that we're going in. No, that's taking me backwards. You just never know which way we're going to go when I go out. No. Well, this is not easy. I want to face the other way. No, you're taking me the wrong way. Wait, hang on. Let me go down this way a minute. Why is it going to let me spin? Why is it not letting me do the spinning thing? It let me do it earlier. Guys, it's not letting me do it. I hate this one. Like this mouse. It's a more quiet mouse, but it doesn't let me. We'll do that. Here we go. Now we're on Market Street. Just mess with some of the settings and see what happens. And there we are. So as you can see, there's a river. And obviously, if you were intending on going in it, why walk so far? That's just my genuine Sunday maps being lazy. Yeah. That would just be my first question. If it was intentional, why take the long walk? And anyway, so let's walk this street. Where's my little... So there's that part of the river. Now, I was informed that the area is red light, but to be honest, they took the walk off the pathway. They were heading to the boat place. So I'm not sure that that would be a thing because of all the boats and obviously the docking and stuff. So as you can see, like when you're walking this, it can be completely different. Hey, no, I want to keep going that way. No, you take me the wrong way. Jesus, take the wheels. That's on the wrong side of the road, but it's whether it's going to let me actually go across the bridge today, because yesterday it didn't want me to do it. So it's actually quite a fair walk, right? If you were going to do something that intentional. And then you've got more river there. So there's plenty of opportunities to, you know, if you were going to, before you take yourself down to that river. So what happened to them? As we go. Here comes the bridge. Now, is it going to let me go over the bridge? It might. It might not. It's going to let me go, guys. So as you can see, that's what the riverbank looks like from that direction. Right, I want you to move so I can... No. Wait. What's happening? Right. Okay, here we go. So you can see in the picture here, from a distance, what that area looks like. It's quite a big river. It's quite wide. It's a lot of search area. Someone having their morning run. And you can see that the bank kind of slides down, so you could be walking along. That's just from this angle, though. And then we get to cross this bridge. Okay. And then you'll see that's the path they took there. They went down there. So it's really hard to know why they went down there, where they were heading. Did they end up in the river? Because they've not been seen, but apparently there's other potential areas that they could use this pathway and come off. So maybe police haven't quite got to the CCTV side of that yet. But currently, as it stands, the main focus for the girls is this river. So what were they doing down there? The police are saying nothing suspicious at this time that they think has happened here. But the question is, why were they down there and what's happened to them? I don't know. I just kind of feel if you were going to do something intentionally, you just wouldn't go all the way down there. I mean, I don't know. Because I think it's quite shallow to the edges, so you kind of like, it's not like you'd walk in and it's immediately deep, and it was low tide at that point. Now let me just show you how the river. Let's go back out. So when I zoom out now, so from here, and each one of these points, obviously this is where the ships dock, but they all lead to the same place. Like I said, if I was going to go, I'd, you know, if it was intentional and I wanted it to be quick, that would be the way I'd go in that way. But like they said, their family said it's not normal for them to take a walk at that time of the night. They're quite, they did everything together. They didn't go out. They were more home birds, I guess. But this would be unusual for their characters. Hey, Hope in action. But again, it's just terribly sad, isn't it? Because it's now another family that has a loved one that's now missing, presumed to have entered that river, which if they have, then there's just, there's no way they could survive being in that river. It's ice. But the questions are, what were they doing there? And will we get answers? Probably not. If and when they're found, hopefully they are. So the police have extended their search to the coastline area, which is obviously would be down here. Now obviously you've got to bear in mind the tide can be sort of coming out and then it can come back in. So, in out, but obviously if you end up coming sort of here and out here, then the chances of being found would be very, very slim. So what are they saying? So the police, 2 hours ago, the police are focusing on the icy river in the search for the sisters who are missing in Aberdeen. 2:12 was when they were seen on Tuesday. I mean, that, geez, I just don't know. Like, it just looks absolutely freezing. I mean, for a river to be iced over, it's really freaking cold. Divers already searched part of the river near to where they were seen going off. And then they extended it towards the port of the south of the harbour in Duthie Park. And they're carrying out fresh searches along the river. There are floating ice patches on the surface, and the temperatures continue to go up and down and more down than they're coming up. And the relatives apparently saying about people not urged to spread unfounded rumours about the disappearance. Well, to be honest, I haven't seen any. I've not seen anybody talking. And the only thing I've heard is that the area that they were walking along is a red light area, which obviously where they ended up tells me that isn't potentially connected unless they were going to meet someone at the boat place. In which case, was there somebody else there? Don't know. So we can't really speculate on that. But I've not heard any unfounded rumours. Now, obviously, when you have water, there's only a few things people are going to speculate on, isn't it? Has someone done this intentionally? Have they done it themselves? Or is this an accident? So, they're the kind of things that, and when people are talking about the cases, of course, some people are going to talk about those things because, you can't talk about the case. Like, you've got questions, like I've got questions, like, why were they out at that time in the morning? If there was an intention there, why did they go so far? Is this just a tragic accident where perhaps one slipped and the other went in and that's both of them gone? We don't know. So you'll never stop people kind of having thoughts on that and questions. And they're doing that one, because when they're talking about the case, having questions is good, like, because, it gives people something to think about. But obviously, speculating too deep, we don't really need to do that because we don't know. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything at the moment. So that is a good thing. Detectives previously said there was nothing to suggest anything suspicious has happened to the women. They did a fresh appeal yesterday. They moved to Scotland about 7 years ago. Now, their brother is called, I don't know if it's Joseph or Joseph. And he's the guy that said, they seemed fine in the days before they went missing. And then the sister is Eliza Huszti, and she is the other triplet. And she said that she spoke to them on a video call New Year's Eve, and they appeared happy and cheerful. They're close knit. They don't understand what could have happened to them. They prefer to stay home than go out. And it's out of character for them to be out on the streets in the early hours of the morning. Family statement addressed to friends and relatives was released on social media. The statement was in Hungarian but translated by BBC News, who confirmed the sisters were missing. And they asked for respect, not to spread rumours. We can only say what's already been in the news. And there isn't really a lot more that's being said, I'm not going to lie. So all we can do, again, is share the information. Will we get more CCTV images? We know the police often have more than what we have access to. And then, we saw it with Victoria Taylor, where they released other images and stuff. That they kind of hold on until they want to give out more information for fresh appeals and stuff. So I'll keep my eye out for those. But I just wanted to bring this some attention over here, just because obviously it's important that, like with everyone, that they are found. It is a very, very sad case because it's all the unknown. No one knows what's gone on. No one knows if this is an accident, intentional. Police don't think anything suspicious has gone on. The more I think about sort of like intentional actions, I just feel like that they wouldn't. But then again, nothing makes sense in these cases because you've got, if it was intentional, why would they not just go where it would be quick and it would, it would be quick and they would likely be washed out to sea quick. But then Also, why were they out at 2 a.m. in the morning? Where were they going? I mean, who knows? They might have just thought, oh, do you know what? Can't sleep. Let's go for a little walk. It might not be usual for them, but then how does the family know what would be usual for them if they're in Hungary? And who knows if they take walks on a regular basis to if they can't sleep or they've got some concerns or you just oh, I need to go out, can't sleep, I just need some fresh air. Or they just needed to just escape for a little bit out of the property. Who knows? Because if you're not there, you can't monitor whether that's normal for them to leave at 2 in the morning and be wandering around. It's a weird time. It's a weird route. And like I said, the river where they went down is a concerning route. And then I think, well, if they're down there, has one of them, slipped and the other one's tried to help and couldn't and then gone in after them and then they're both in trouble. But I don't think there's any CCTV down there that I know of, although you'd think the boatyard place would have some CCTV around it, being as remote as it is. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. But then again, you see, I just think, well, why would you not do it? Why would you take that long walk, be dressed ready for the winter for a long walk, and then bypass where it would be deep because the river itself, where the boats are, would start off a lot deeper, I think. Whereas it looks to me where they went walking, there's sort of like you've got the bank and it slopes down and it's probably shallower before it's deep. I just kind of feel like you just want this done, you'd just go, wouldn't you? But when it comes to things like this, you can't predict and you can't understand why. Maybe they wanted to talk some stuff through before they did what they did, but they could have easily done that and just stayed where they in one place and just had that conversation. But we don't know is the answer. But then would they have been seen on a boat? Why would they get on a boat and where would they go? Because if you were going to get a boat, you'd do it in the port, wouldn't you? Unless they've stolen a boat, but then I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because I don't know the boat house. Well, I don't know what they have in there, what they do in like I don't really know much about it. Let me just see. No, they're just talking about the same thing. The boathouse area near Duthie Park. See, it's saying about spreading malicious rumours on social media about them. I haven't seen it. So I don't know how they've seen it. Who knows? I'll have to keep my eye out for that. But that's going to happen. Unfortunately, it shouldn't. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. You can't have something like this and then people not start throwing out horrible thoughts and theories out there, rather than just looking at the information that we have at the moment, which isn't a great deal, don't get me wrong. And obviously, if they are in the river, all the speculation and comments and stuff isn't going to be very helpful to this situation whatsoever. But just bringing awareness, just in case, for whatever reason, that they haven't yet got any other image, but could come across other CCTV images and waiting for people to hand stuff in. There'll be hours and hours and hours and hours of footage to go through, and it takes a long time. And so obviously they've got to do both land, river searches while they're obviously got their people going through all of the footage as well. And it's not an easy task to go through CCTV. So let's just hope, let's keep the hope there that these women can be found and located safely. I don't know if there's been any bank transactions or any phone pings. There's been nothing mentioned. I'm sure at some point that could become information that's given, but because they're purely focusing on the river, they might not give much more updates if that's where they, what the hypothesis is. Once they've got the hypothesis, that working one, that's what they'll focus on. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys today over here, and I will keep an eye on that. So absolutely, if you see any videos, posts, do share them and stuff and get them out there and get them seen. But other than that, there's not much more I can report on that. Just let's just hope that these women are found. And even if, they are recovered from the river, then it's an awful situation, but that means that they're found. But let's hope that they can still be found safely. And I'll keep you guys updated as we get more information. I'll post a video that I did yesterday on TikTok over here, and then I'll post some videos. Unless we get any significant updates. There hasn't even been a press conference, so there's not too much that I can show you on this. But that is the missing Huszti sisters case, and like I said, we'll keep an eye on it and we'll continue to follow it and share the information. So I'll see you on my TikTok this evening. I hope you guys have a good Sunday. Hope you're having a day of rest, putting your feet up, whatever it is that you guys are doing. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye for now.